Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Quick Attack Podcast. Today, we are joined by a special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Aaron from the channel Pixel Litch.
And
Hi, Aaron.
we met through Happily Ever After Gaming, of course, a good friend of ours who hopefully will continue to be on this podcast for a while to come.
My name is Caleb, and I am an alcoholic. This is my 10th meeting.
Hi, Caleb.
Sucks.
That's not what you're supposed to do, Jeremy.
Hi, Caleb. How's it going?
You're not supposed to judge at these things.
Oh man, I'm okay.
So typically, what we do in these podcasts, Pixel Litch, is we go around in sort of a circle of sorts, and we just sort of talk about our last month. We sort of focus on video games mostly, but talk about any sort of major events that happened in our last month, and then we just conversate about those things.
Cool.
So whoever wants to get us started, feel free. I nominate Jeremy because he's a bitch, pretty much.
Oh, that's a good reason. Holy shit. That's just like, hey, sir, what character do we put in our game? I'm gonna say Banjo. Why? Because you're a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Seth, how's it feel to be a bitch?
I don't know. My last month has been pretty mellow, I guess. Haven't really played anything new, rather than that new Duel Links for the mobile.
I'm so glad that it's classic Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's so good, dude. Like, it's simple. It kind of sucks because there's only like 3 monster spots and 3 spell and trap spots, but like, it's pretty much just dumbed down Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's so good.
Yeah, the only complaint I have about it is that it's like, even though it's old cards, it's new rules, where it's like you can only draw 4 cards on your first turn, and you can only have so many cards face down.
Yeah, I mean, like, that just comes with the dumbed down Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure the new rules are 5 cards and then you draw 6, right? Like, your first turn it's 5 and then goes to your opponent and he draws.
No,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. They do have kind of the new rules, but all the old stuff, so I'm okay with that. There's no pendulum, so I don't want to kill myself yet. Which is good.
I've already downloaded it, but I have not played it, so
Oh man, you gotta
I'm excited.
Good, yeah.
I didn't boot it up till last night, and I fucking no-life the shit out of it, so...
But yeah, other than that, the only other thing that really was of importance, I guess, is all the hometown homies came over this weekend as of this recording. And we drank a lot, and a lot of Mario Party.
Oh, man.
Fuck you. And oh my god, you're so goddamn lucky. I hate you.
That morning was funny, though.
That was pretty fun.
When we all got up, and Jake gets up, and the first thing he goes is he comes over to me, he's like, "Oh, hey, Brennan, are you drinking that?" No, like, I was going to wait a little while. Like, I don't want to be the first guy to start drinking. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm going to start drinking right now anyways." It's like 9 in the morning.
9 in the morning?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are from Canada, aren't you?
Had a fucking beer in their hand, and I'm like, what the heck's going on?
So we pretty much started drinking from 9 in the morning and went all night.
Holy hell.
You guys and your rye and gingers.
You're not that
Hey.
far off.
Yeah, you're not.
I lived in Canada for 5 years. I know what you guys drink.
Well, that is correct. You've got the inside scoop on us. Although
I do.
mine was...
That and your Tims.
Yeah, well, it's roll up the rim season.
Hell yeah. I missed that this year.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you only miss it until you lose so many times.
Yeah. Oh, this is my 50th coffee, and I got
Yeah.
1 free coffee. Well,
Canadian math says that's worth it.
yeah, that does say it's worth it.
That's a high ratio right there.
You're telling me I can get 51 coffees for the price of 50 coffees.
Hey, I do know that the big prizes exist because I was at a party one time and I got in somebody's car. It's a brand new car. And I'm like, "This is a nice car. It smells new." He's like, yeah. You know the roll up the rim car? Yeah, it's this car. I'm like, holy shit, you guys won the roll up the rim car? Yep.
Are you
Like,
sure
so it
Tim
exists.
Hortons?
I know it's real.
Are you
Wow.
sure Tim Hortons didn't just pay them to be your friend as like an advertisement? So,
Straight at a random house party. I'm like, all right, you guys go with this car, so they think that this is a real thing. And I actually give the car away.
this is a roll up the rim car from Tim Hortons, a family company. Okay.
Just like looks out the window. What are you looking at? There's just like a fucking camera,
Yeah.
dude.
Guy holding up a cue card.
Don't worry, they're filming Suicide Squad. Oh, okay, it's fine.
Oh, well, I only see one cue card, so that about fits Jared Leto's line limit in Suicide Squad.
Something about making rats in a box with condoms in it. I don't know. I don't get what that means.
Okay.
All right.
You guys didn't
We're
hear
on
that?
our
He
way.
was mailing like rats and used condoms to his castmates while on that set.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
That's amazing.
I didn't hear that, but I'm not upset about that.
I mean,
I'm sure they were.
Nah.
Yeah. yeah, like some of them were just like, oh, it's just Jared. Like, no, do not send me used condoms. The rats, that's kind of gross. But do not send me your man matter, your batter.
What kind of rats? Are they alive? Are they dead? Are they sewer rats? Are they like pet store rats? If he sent me like an adorable little pet store rat, I'd be like, oh, thanks, Jared.
You know, I think
Yeah.
I believe that's actually what Subway said when questioned. They're like, oh, that's just Jared.
It's got like
I
one
got
of those
someone going.
laugh tracks from like an 80s sitcom.
Yeah.
That's our Jared.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Oh my god.
I figured we got to get the podcast started right away, or else people aren't going to know what they're in for.
Yeah.
Yeah, edit that last part out.
You underestimate how far I'm willing to go for comedy.
Oh man.
We got Jacob on the channel, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Jesus. He wasn't intended to be permanent. He's just fused in now.
He just kind of showed up one day on the couch and he never left.
Pretty much.
No, that's pretty much it, yeah. We were like, hey, we're recording today, but like you can still come over. And he's like, yeah, I can be in the recording. We're like, cool. And now he's just, in our
A
channel.
part of the crew.
He probably left that night, and we were like, oh, never again. And then
Yeah.
we rewatched the videos, and we're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's pretty funny. So is that your entire month, Jeremy? All.
Yeah. I'm pretty boring.
Well, I've got some stuff I'd like to talk about from my month, and to start it off, I feel like the new Zelda and Switch information needs to be discussed, because we got quite a bit of that in the previous month of January. So I'm surprised you didn't bring any of that up with all the
I haven't
hardware.
been paying attention to it, to be honest.
You didn't? Well, you saw the one stream, right? With the new trailer? The one, like, early
No,
January?
I'm pretty sure we talked about that already, did we not?
No, not
I
in the
swear we
podcast.
did.
Not in the podcast.
So, yeah, I remember pretty much everything we talked about from Zelda. The main thing that we talked about was how we were skeptical about the voice acting
Yeah.
and that they might have changed too many mechanics in the game to where it doesn't feel like a Zelda game. And
Okay.
that was about it, really.
I swear that we did the podcast of that, but I guess not, huh?
No, that was a little bit after that podcast that stream happened. But
Yeah, that commercial feels like it's been forever. Holy shit.
it almost saved itself for me with showing off some of the voice acting, because at first everybody thought everybody was going to be able to select any language or whatever. So I was like, oh, cool, I'll just select the Japanese dub. I still won't understand what they're saying. I'll still have to read it. And plus, I'll get the dramatics of the voice acting. Awesome. And then it was like, no, you're stuck with English, where the cry of Zelda isn't even a cry. It's more like some little blubbering. So I'm still a little upset about that, but
Okay. Well, I know that Link is not going to be fully voice acted, right? He's, I mean,
he better not be.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing anyway. And then what? He's got a last name now? Link.
That is correct. I believe.
I feel like
Chikaru.
I feel like that's one of those things that they did, like, when the creator of Hello Kitty was like, Hello Kitty's not a cat, she's a little girl, and everybody's like, shut the fuck up. Hello Kitty's a cat.
Yes.
And Miyamoto's like, Link's last name is Link, and we're all just like, yeah, whatever, dude.
I appreciate.
Mario, we can take that one, but Link, pass.
I appreciate that the Hello Kitty fan base is saying, "Shut the fuck up."
Hey, we're all older now, man.
Like I'm picturing like 8-year-olds, and he's like, yeah, Hello Kitty's a kid, and even 8-year-olds are like, oh, fuck off.
I say we like I'm part of the Hello Kitty fan base, but no, I definitely was in that age bracket when it was like first really, really popular, and so I guess I'm the demographic, or at least I don't know, unless it was technically targeted at younger females, but it seemed like one of those things that like everybody thought was enjoyable when I was a kid, and so I kind of feel like when he came out, he was just like, Hello Kitty's not a cat, he's a little girl, and I was just like, I'm betrayed. My trust is betrayed.
I honestly didn't know that it was a show until after I got married, or started dating my wife. I always thought it was just like a merchandise thing, and I guess it makes sense that it had to start somewhere. But I mean, I had stuff everywhere, but I'd never seen the show. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I loved it." I was like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah, I definitely always saw the merchandise more so than the actual show. So, but I mean, it does exist as an actual cartoon. So
Everybody has that one moment in their life where they develop those trust issues.
for me, it was Hello Kitty.
For me, it was nuts and bolts.
Oh,
Fair enough, Jeremy.
I'm sorry, Caleb.
why do you have to bring that up every time?
I know it hurts.
Mine is so much simpler. Mine is getting given raisin cookies and being told they're chocolate chip.
Oh man, that's awful though.
It's the worst.
Am I the only guy who likes raisin oatmeal cookies?
No, you're not the only guy, but you do have to know what you're getting yourself into, right?
You-
Yeah,
It's
no,
never
raisin.
wrong.
No, raisin is fine. It's just like when you're looking at them, and you're like, "Oh, damn, some chocolate chip cookies would be nice." And then you bite in, and you're like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
It's the same
I
with
guess you
anything.
just
When you
tell the
bite into
difference between a
something
raisin and
expecting
chocolate.
something else, it's always nasty. And
I
I
do
don't
this
like
to my
raisins.
wife all the time. So she'll ask me to get her a drink, and if she thinks she's getting water, and I give her Sprite, dude, she'll like spit it out. Like, what is this?
It's the unexpectedness.
Yeah, or if you go, you're like, oh, sweet Pepsi, and you take a drink and it's fucking tea, and then you just throw your cup across McDonald's, and you're like, I demand a refund, and then you get kicked out and trespassed from the property.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Every other Thursday.
It happens every other Thursday. But yeah, we got a lot of Switch info and stuff about the new Zelda. The Switch looks pretty neat. I'm going to be grabbing it. A lot of cool stuff shown off from that in the past month. Oh, I don't want to talk about that too much because even I was trying to avoid some spoilers. But if you haven't seen the new Zelda trailer, I'd suggest you go and check it out because it is one of my favorite video game trailers, period.
What?
It's a
Have
lot
you
of fun.
seen the Super Smash Bros. 64 TV commercial?
I have indeed.
Actually, I think I know the one you're talking
So
about.
happy
It's-
together.
I said one of Caleb.
Dude, did they have aren't they wearing mascot suits for that?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, cool.
Actually,
I do remember my 90s TV.
now that you mention
Oh,
it,
so
the trailer for Smash 4 is actually really good too, with Reggie and Iwata fucking fighting
Yeah.
each other,
Yeah.
doing fighting
Yeah, that
game
was
shit.
good.
That's a pretty good one.
I have to
Nintendo's good
say,
trailers.
I am really excited for the new Zelda, but I was kind of thinking the other day, I don't think I'm going to buy any more consoles. And the reason for that is so the most recent console I bought was a PS4. I think I bought it 2 years ago now. And the first 8 months that I had it, I played it religiously. And now it's sat there since October and I haven't touched it. And I picked it up briefly, I think, when they changed No Man's Sky, when they're like, hey, you have a creative mode now. And I picked it up. I'm like, nope, this game still sucks. And I put it back down.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, that's your problem. You were playing No Man's Sky.
But there hasn't been anything else out that I really want. I actually briefly played the new Final Fantasy game at a friend's house, and I'm like, okay, I do want this game now, but I'm gonna wait for it to go down in price because I don't want to spend $60 on it. So there's nothing out right now that I mean, there's a handful of games that I want, but there's nothing that I want to buy at full price. So it's I'll wait until I can either find a used copy or buy until it drops to $30 because I just I mean, part of it's because there's money's tight at the moment, but at the same time, it's if there's a game that I really, really want, I will find a way to get the money to buy it. And there's just nothing for me right now. And I've played through everything that I have at the moment. So, and I just started thinking that that's kind of what happens to just about every time I get a console is that, you play it so much for, the first few months you have it, and then it sits there and collects dust and you
Right.
don't pick it up again,
Well, there's new Dark Souls DLC soon.
But I didn't finish the original content. I got to the part where you fight the dude who keeps like making clones of himself, and I was like, "This is bullshit." And I quit playing.
Well, may I, if I may, can I suggest that you get good? Perhaps.
Yeah,
Wait. What build were you?
I didn't even remember. I think it was just playing a warrior build or something. I don't know. Like, see, I like Dark Souls a lot, but like, I already have a short fuse as it is. So like, playing that game gets so infuriating that I'm like, you know what? I can't even get through this game, let alone like have enough patience to get good. So I'm just gonna go back to Overwatch. Okay, thanks.
Just treat that fight like it's a stand battle, and then you'll think it's a lot cooler.
Yeah, honestly, like most of the Dark Souls games, it's like greatsword builds are like godlike. And then I went to Dark Souls 3 and I was like, I really like the greatsword class, so I'll give it another go. And then like all the bosses just super hard countered freaking greatsword classes because they're all super quick. And I was like, cool.
Apparently, greatswords are the meta right now in PvP or something. I heard something about that.
Really?
Well,
Yeah, I heard. I mean, I don't know how true it was. I think it was actually Steven who just told me because he does the online stuff for Dark Souls 3.
well, in the fashion of Jeremy, I'm going to say let's hold Dark Souls conversation till the end.
Yeah.
Because
Fair enough.
you know that we can go on all day about this.
So anyways, backpacking off the Switch stuff. It's the end of the Wii U era. Production has ended for the Wii U, and
Thank God.
talk about the Wii U a little bit. It gets this horrible flack as a terrible console, and I was talking to Jeremy about this last weekend. I don't think that it was as bad as everyone remembers it. I think people just remember it poorly because even though it had all of the staples that a Nintendo console usually has, except Zelda until next month or whatever, but none of them were the best in their series, whereas every console seemed to have at least one. Like, it had Super Smash Brothers, but people don't think it was as good as Melee. It had Pikmin 3, which was a great game, but wasn't as good as Pikmin 2. It had Mario Kart 8, which was fun, but no Double Dash. Mario 3D
Basically, what you're
World.
saying is with GameCube is bae.
Well, I mean, for
GameCube
me.
was bae.
For me, yeah. GameCube really
There was no Metroid title, so they definitely lost me on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. There wasn't a But would you rather have, like, a no Metroid or, like, another M?
Yeah.
I guess, but I mean, most of my qualms with other M aren't even really with the gameplay. It's with what they did
baby?
with Samus and giving her a voice, and they took away her autonomy and made her like she was such a strong female character, and then she totally failed. What is it, the litmus test? That was it called? I can't remember what it's called.
The baby.
She totally fails that one test where she's like not a good female character basically, and because the actual gameplay is fine.
The baby.
I mean,
The baby.
people might argue the what?
The baby.
The baby test?
The baby. You don't remember that?
No.
She says that so many times throughout the game. I think there was a drinking
yeah.
game made for it every time she says the baby.
That's pretty good.
Well,
I
I
mean, women are
didn't
always
finish
talking
that
about
game,
babies.
so. But I played a bit of it, and like what I did play was fine, but it's just from the cutscenes and stuff is what I had a problem with.
Yeah, it wasn't very critically accepted. Something weird actually about Other M. I was in a Walmart not the other day. It was a couple months back, but I saw a copy of Metroid Other M, and I looked down at the price, and I'm not even shitting you. It was
You told me this.
They were selling Other M for $92.
What?
And I was so confused.
Excuse me, sir. You know this should be in the garbage,
Yeah,
right? Not on the shelf.
Are you sure they didn't just put the 9 and the 2 in the wrong spot? Should have been
No,
29.
it even had like a label beneath it, so it wasn't in front of the wrong game. It was just
Right.
I don't
Terrible.
know. For
Well, it's
whatever
Canadian
reason.
money though, so it's only like $4.
Yeah, you're right. Our money's worthless anyways.
Somehow that always comes up for podcasts too.
Aww.
Hey, at
It's
least
true.
we don't have your president.
That's true.
We all have our flaws, guys. Okay.
Very
I'm
true.
Sorry, our president can't be as handsome and dreamy as yours.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say you're acting
okay.
like Trudeau's any better.
He is any better. He's handsome.
That's true. That's true. He's got hair.
Yeah, correct.
At least your prime minister started out great, and then ours, we just knew beforehand that it was garbage.
They did
Yeah.
it anyway.
I feel like our prime minister's heart's in the right place at the very least.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't always do the right thing, but I feel like he intends to. Except
what?
for when it comes to
I'm
money.
calling this right now. I'm calling this right now. Trump will have a second term.
No.
Well,
Our
here's the
our
thing.
country
Here's the
is so
thing.
backwards.
If George W. could get 2 terms, I'm not gonna doubt it.
Yeah. I mean, our country is that backwards. They get that mindset where it's like, well, this was absolute shit.
Give him more
let's
time.
do it again.
Let's see what he can
Yeah,
do with a
no,
little more.
I'm too lazy
Yeah.
to vote again.
And then at the end of
we
the
know what this is like.
then at the end of the 8 years, everybody will be upset with that party, and then they'll vote the other party. And then after that 8 years, they'll be upset with that party, and they'll vote the other party. It's
Basically,
the cycle.
Well, hey, I think people are already upset with Trudeau's like voting reform thing that he's backed out on, but that they've forgot that at least he's not Stephen Harper. So just remember that.
Yeah, that's mostly what we're happy about. That's our cause to celebrate. He could
Anytime
go
you start getting
around.
mad at it, just be like, "Oh yeah, he's not Harper. That's fine."
He could come out and be like, "Yo, so the purge is gonna be a Canadian thing now. Everyone get ready." And we'll be like, it's still rather him, I guess.
Still better than Harper.
That's fine, I guess, but you better be there so that we can all see you and gawk over you, like when you were in the gay pride parade that time. Like political party leaders do.
Yeah.
Caleb, you remember when we were talking about that song? I can't remember what song it was, and you're like, "Oh, well, at least it's not, the Stephen. I can never hear that song without hearing the Stephen Harper cover." It was you didn't know who that was, and you're like, "Oh, I don't want to know." Well, that was because Stephen Harper was the Canada's former prime minister, and he had a cover band, and they sang that. So it was Sweet Caroline, yeah,
Oh.
yeah, and it was just god awful.
All right. I remember that now. Yeah. Yeah.
See, our prime minister might be marching in the gay pride parade, but at least he's not doing that no more.
Yeah.
At least that's over and done. How do we get on that
Well,
topic from the Wii U?
Yes. Oh, Justin Trudeau.
Were we talking about the Wii U?
We were
Wii U is garbage. Politics are garbage.
Oh.
Oh wait. We got on other M, so there's more garbage. We can connect the garbage dots, everybody. We could do this.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's that dumpster fire? Must be politics.
Correct. So as he was mentioning earlier, he was talking about Final Fantasy, and that's one of the other things I did this month is I played some more of Final Fantasy 15. I didn't do too much because I was a little more busy this month, but I did do what I could, and I'm still loving it. I'm taking my time through it. I'm not rushing anything. Doing all the side quests I get, exploring. I'm still loving it a lot. So I'll probably be playing that for a long time to come. It's doing a good job at stalling me till Zelda gets here.
I find the summoning system in that game very interesting and different. I don't know if that's good, but it's definitely a turn from what they normally have, because you have like every summon in that game has to meet certain conditions, and then they show up at random, which is very interesting.
It's not the summoning system we deserve or need, but it's the summoning system we have.
Very good.
So
That is accurate.
there you go.
We didn't want it. We don't need it.
But it's there.
What you get.
It exists.
That's it.
I thought it was an interesting direction, anyways. At least, it's probably not. I would prefer to have the option to choose to summon.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's
I
fun.
do think it's kind of cool that you don't control these godlike beings. They show up when they want
They
to.
just
Well,
sort of.
The other cool thing with that is that you don't completely rely on them, because I have found myself in certain playthroughs of like Final Fantasy VIII, for instance, totally relying on summons and like just building up enough energy to summon and not even use my characters to fight the battles anymore, especially on boss fights. I was like, in Final Fantasy VII, I was like nonstop boss fight, every boss fight. It was just nonstop summons. It's like, do I have enough? Yeah, oh, sure, we'll send in the Chocobo, whatever. It's better than I am. And, just constantly. So, I mean, it takes away that element of it where, you're relying on your summons to beat the game for you. But I don't think difficulty has ever really been an issue with Final Fantasy games anyway. I'm just a noob.
Nah, unless you go out of your way to grind super hard in this one, you should be on par with where they want you to be.
I think you use summons very differently than I do. I don't use it so much to win the game, but like I'll summon like boom, Knights of the Round. All right, I'm gonna go make a sandwich now.
Because it takes 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Guys, you mind taking
You
over
might
my
have enough
shift?
time to
I'm
make
on lunch
two.
break.
Yep. Well, I think in Final Fantasy VIII Eden is even longer. It's like 9 minutes or something,
Oh,
or
yeah.
8.5.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yep. It's pretty great though. You can
Yeah.
skip them at least, but it's just like summon. All right, I'm gonna go make a phone call.
Right.
I will say that in 15, Square Enix still cements their place as like the greatest FMV makers of all time.
Yeah.
The fucking cutscenes are so good,
Yeah.
which I guess they should
Well-
be because 10 years. But you know,
I'm
Potato.
looking forward to like the next iteration of Final Fantasy like 10 years from now, because like I remember seeing Final Fantasy VIII cutscenes and being like, oh my god, this is amazing. Why don't they just make a movie already? And then now like seeing the cutscenes are even like they're like 1,000 times more incredible. So can you imagine like, you know,
Well,
when we're
how
like
long-
60 playing Final Fantasy?
how long do you think it's gonna take before all of Final Fantasy VII Remastered is released? Not the first part, but like the entire thing. How many years from now do you think we're gonna be able to sit down and play the entire remastered version? of
9.
7?
9.
Well, let me say this. I think Half-Life 3 will come out first.
Ooh, that's a. I'll take that bet.
Oh boy.
I would bet against those odds.
I'll take that bet. All odds
think
are in our favor on
that
this one.
happens.
Them's fighting words.
You don't have to tie up your story ends if your game never releases.
Really, it's genius.
That's a good motto.
Oh no. No.
That's what the writers for like Naruto should have done. Just like, we don't want to write any more manga, and then they're just like, well, you got to finish the story, and then they're like, wait, no, we don't, and then they just stop.
No, what Naruto should have done is they should have gone, okay, we've got our story. Now let's add some side stuff. Are you sure you don't want to just cut that side stuff? You sure?
Well,
don't want to
that's
trim the
kind
fat?
of like an unintentional possibility for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, well,
A little dark, but he might not be able to tie everything up.
I pissed off my brother about Game of Thrones the other day, and I want to preface that I only said this to piss him off before I get attacked by people, but my brother is a huge Game of Thrones fan, and I was watching The Walking Dead with my mother and father, and he came in and he started talking shit, and he was like, all this show is like waiting for any random character to die and then going, oh no, they died, and I was just like, how's that any different from Game of Thrones? And he was so fucking mad. It was hilarious.
That's true.
I mean, it's not exactly true, because, let's be honest, Game of Thrones has a little bit of superior writing.
It's true, it does.
Just a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, like,
At
what
least
about-
when somebody dies, it's usually because they actually screwed up or like there was a reason for it.
Yeah, there's
Whereas in a lot of
reasons.
shows, when they kill off characters, it's just like to do it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, you're not wrong. And Walking Dead is just like, this character's just walking. Oh, he's bit, he's gone.
Yeah,
Dude,
decided.
Does anybody remember when Kumar from Harold and Kumar killed himself on House? Holy crap.
Is that a thing?
You guys, if you haven't watched through House, I just gave you the biggest spoiler
No.
ever.
No, I haven't. I haven't,
But that was a thing, like, they were exiting his character, so they, like, just had him commit suicide out of nowhere. And it, like, sucked, dude. It really sucked. It was like, I wish I was dead, too.
That's dark.
But I think it was
it's-
good.
Something about
It
the
was
laugh you had going when you said that really seemed twisted. I wish I was dead too.
It's not true if I'm laughing. But,
Keep telling yourself that.
all right. Well, let me go ahead and give you guys my month. Let's run this down really quick. YouTube has been mostly Let's Plays. I think a few podcasts back said that I'm not doing Let's Plays anymore, like ever. So I've already gone back on that promise. But I have been playing Don't Starve Together with my wife, and I have been playing Pit People with Derek. And I
That
have
game
to
looks
say,
so fun.
Pit People is probably the game of the year for me. I mean, I know it's early to call it, and Yooka-Laylee is probably going to change my mind. But
Probably, yeah.
Oh my God, the writing is so good in Hit People.
Yeah,
It
I've
is
seen some of it. It's pretty funny.
unbelievable.
It's
And I
pretty funny.
actually have not touched the main story yet. I'm just doing side quests. So I'm kind of afraid that I'm power leveling a little bit, but it's just too much fun. Like I can't help it. I have to do the side quests. It's fantastic.
I've seen quite a bit about that game. It looks pretty fun, but yeah, you're right. The writing that I've seen is really, really on point.
And you shared your berries with her. Huh? You shared your berries with her. The narrator's so fucking good.
It almost
Right,
reminds
he's
me
so
of
insistent.
it almost reminds me of Stanley Parable with the narrator.
Exactly. Yeah, I get that feeling too. You're like, no, I'm not sure I agree with it. Nope. Okay, that's what we're gonna do.
Now,
All
when you say you're playing Don't Starve together with your wife, I hope you're referring to the video game and being less literal.
I mean, so that's the other big update for the channel for my family here. We have a new addition. We have a
Yeah,
baby.
you just had a parasite. Oh, baby, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. No, we have a 3-day-old in the room adjacent to mine right now, and he's amazing. His name is Elijah, and he may or may not be named after the main character of Lord of the Rings, but
Totally is, though.
but yeah, he's pretty much a baby for anyone who doesn't have children or hasn't experienced that. That's all I can describe him as. For anyone who has a baby, he's the greatest thing that's ever happened, and everything he does is better than anything anyone's ever done. It's I don't know. It's totally different depending on who you are. But he's
So
amazing.
much better than our last kid. We put
And
him in
that-
the closet.
Well,
I was just
we're not-
laughing that you started that off with, he's a 3-day-old and pretty much he's a baby.
can't describe him any
Yeah.
better than that.
To give you the Cliff's Notes, he's a baby.
Yeah. 3 days old. But no, we were eating pretty good, so we're not actually starving together. But we were playing Don't Starve together, and it's like it wasn't a game for me. Like I saw it when it first came out. I was like, that is not my kind of game. But at the same time, me and my wife had not played a game together in forever, and it just felt weird. So I was like, we should play something. And she loves Don't Starve, so I bought Don't Starve together, and it was a lot of fun. And there's more episodes coming out, so look forward to that.
Caleb, did you ever finish the DS3 DLC? I know you said save
No,
Dark Souls,
no.
but just answer real
No,
quick. No.
I did not.
Okay. I was just curious.
I've
We'll save it
encountered-
for a little further, but
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
so
So try to follow that, Aaron. Please.
Okay. Well, I did not have a baby. I have been looking for a dog, though. So if anybody has a husky, I want one. As far as my month goes, YouTube has been kind of stagnant. I've been working on so many other projects on the side that I haven't been making content. And with my former partner Jessica moved to Japan, like our Lord of the Rings stuff has not been really going anywhere because she doesn't have any equipment over there to record or anything like that. And we've been trying to get her a microphone so we can just turn it into a full audio series, because I do want to finish up the Silmarillion at least before I call that show done. And with the weird stuff that YouTube's been doing and all their issues with glitches and algorithm stuff, they've been really like squashing smaller channels. And so like it just like every time I put days and work into a video, it goes up, it kind of goes nowhere. And it's really frustrating because like, you know, when I first started going on YouTube and posting my videos, like they'd get at least 30 or 40,000 views, and then it's just been a steady decline from then. And it's like it's just really frustrating. So I've been kind of just like I've been contemplating doing other things and maybe trying out Facebook video and stuff like that or something, because it's just like you put all this work into a video and it kind of goes nowhere. And it's like, who am I making this content for if nobody's watching it?
yeah, we definitely know that feeling.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I know that a lot of creators go through stuff like this, so maybe I'll get back into a full swing. But, you know, I've actually been doing film work on the side and making actual money doing something that I enjoy. And, like, I'd love to just do YouTube all day, but I can't justify just doing that when I'm not making any money off of it. I know it's not just for the money, but I do have to pay rent and stuff. So,
Yeah.
and I don't want to work a normal, like, 9-to-5 job or, like, a part-time job that I hate. So, like, I've been kind of trying to push my own production company, and as well as I have a friend who's a glassblower, and we've been working on a project trying to get that off the ground too. So on top of that, as far as video games go, I'm still playing a lot of Overwatch. I prestiged this in January, so I'm over level 100 now, which is kind of cool. I know a lot of people got that long before I did, but I kind of quit playing for a few months.
No life.
That's what you got.
Well, it's really like, I mean, if you play, once or twice, or just a few times a week, like you can get a level here and there, and it goes pretty quick. But like I flat out quit playing for like 2 months until the events started up again. So, but on top of that, I've been playing. As far as mobile goes, I picked up Pokemon Duel for a while. That was pretty fun.
I heard about that.
It's cool like figure collecting game, and that's what drew me into it because I like collecting stuff. But the game itself is really interesting, and there's so many combinations because every Pokemon is different. And just because you have the best Pokemon doesn't mean you're going to win a match, because it's also luck based, because it's like a dual spinner. So when two Pokemon fight, the spinners go off, and then you could miss and the other person could hit, and so like a Squirtle could beat your Mewtwo, and it's kind of cool like that. But I mean, like, you still have the advantage if you have a better Pokemon, but like, yeah, you can still lose out because every Pokemon can miss, and you can't ever get rid of your misses entirely,
right?
Which I find interesting. And so like when I was doing the league matches, and like I was doing pretty well, I got up into about the 1600 bracket, and that's when it started getting difficult for me. And then that's when you run into the people who kind of know what they're doing, and they are playing really well. Yeah, and then what else did I get? I started the Diablo 3 current season with a buddy of mine, so we're kind of playing through that.
God, I haven't touched that in so long.
Yeah, I hadn't either, and then he's just like, "Hey, the new season's out. Do you want to play with me? I've been looking for somebody." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And so that's cool. It's like they've added a lot of stuff, changed a lot of stuff, and I haven't played it for so long. It's like coming back to a fresh game again.
Right.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's about it. Like, I was playing Dragon's Dogma for a while. That game's awesome. If you've never played it, you can get it on sale. Oh, and I started Ark Survival Evolved too, because it was on, like, everything was on sale. You got the whole game and all the DLC for like $16. And that game's buggy as shit, but it's really fun.
Yeah, so I have a friend, well, my friend Derek, who's been on the channel a lot. His older brother, D, is his name, and he wanted me to play it so bad with him. Like, I don't know what the deal was. Like, we're not that big of friends, but we're we get along. And he just kept telling me, "Man, you got to get Ark. You got to get Ark." And like, he would get drunk all the time, and we'd be on like Discord or TeamSpeak or whatever, and he'd be like, "I'm buying it for you." I'm like, no. I already tell that this is not the kind of game that I would enjoy. But he's like, "No, I insist. You just gotta try it." I said, I'm gonna feel bad if you buy me a game and then I only play it with you for an hour and never play it again. And this went on for months, and then I hadn't heard about it for a while. I took like a break from playing video games at some point in the last year. I don't really remember when that was. When I came back, there he was, and he was saying the same thing. He's like, "I'm gonna buy you Ark," and I was like, "Okay, buy me Ark, whatever." And he did, and I didn't even play it for an hour. I hate it. I hate it. I knew I would hate it beforehand, and I just cannot get into it.
Well, you can refund Steam. Did you buy it on Steam, I assume, right?
Well, it was he bought it for me as a gift.
Yeah, I think you can still get it refunded. But
Yeah.
it's still pre-alpha, or it's alpha, so like there's still a lot of crap. But for an alpha game, it has a lot of content, and there's a lot to do. And I love that the taming dinosaurs, you basically just go around and punch shit in the face until it's tame. And I'm just like, I don't really know how that works, but okay. You're like, you punch it, and then you force feed it meat, and you're like, you just eat, and you're gonna be my pet. And I find that incredibly hilarious.
That's
If you
how
look at-
relationships in America work.
If you look at ancient cave carvings, you can see that that's actually historically accurate. That's how they used to do it.
T-Rex, just, throw some narcs at it, make it pass out and punch it in the face, and then force feed it, and then there you go, you got a pet T-Rex.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, pretty much the world now, only on a slightly more technological scale. That's how I became friends with Jeremy. Pretty much.
It's only half true.
I walked up to him and I punched him, and then I force-fed him anime and video games.
Yeah.
that was that.
Sounds accurate. Yep. Well,
So
I
DS2.
am enjoying Ark though. I think it definitely has a lot that needs worked on. I think they should really fix some controls issues before they keep adding DLC and more content. But visually, it's a really pretty game. There's so many different like dinosaurs and stuff to do, and like, yeah, I just and there is some weird things too. Like sometimes if you make a new character, you'll spawn, and then suddenly you're getting killed by a giant anaconda, and you're like, what the hell? Why did I spawn right next to something that can kill me immediately? And then you're dead before you even have a chance to look around. Stuff like that needs fixed, but it's still alpha, so they got a long way to go.
Right.
And I mean, it's got a pretty strong community, so I don't see it dying off anytime soon.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I have heard
that's
a
about
little
it.
bit. I have heard a little bit about Dragon's Dogma. From what I've heard, it's been good things, so I might check it out eventually.
Well, here's my problem with Dragon's Dogma. It is a nice looking game, and I think I was sold on it from someone else comparing it to Dark Souls, and
That happens
should
too
never
much
have
these
happened.
days. That happens too
Way
much
too
these
much.
days.
Because like if you would have compared it to like an Elder Scrolls game or something, I would have gone in with those expectations, and the game would have blown me away. But they kept saying, no, it's like Dark Souls except you have a party, and I'm like, that sounds cool, but I never rationalized in my head like, how could you play Dark Souls with a party? Like, how could you play as multiple characters rolling around all over the place? So it didn't feel the way I thought it would, but I mean, it has a very cool system in place, controlling the party and going out and doing your quest. But yeah, I couldn't beat it either. I just like fell off the wagon at some point while playing it, and I was like, nah.
I can see where people would compare it to Dark Souls, but at the same time, I feel like it's more like a kind of Dragon Age combined with Elder Scrolls combined with Vindictus. Have you ever played Vindictus?
Have not.
It's kind of so like you have your party, but you can't switch between them. So that's where it's not like unlike Dragon Age, but it plays instead of like it's very click happy, I guess, and dodgy, and I guess I don't really know how to exactly explain it, but like yeah, I guess I can see where people would, because I've compared it to Dark Souls too, but at the same time I feel like it's more like other games, like visually and I guess gameplay wise it's similar, but the difficulty level is not there for sure. It's still a difficult game, but not nearly as hard as Dark Souls is.
Ironically, I had almost a backwards situation where I had actually played Skyrim before I had played any Souls games, and I had Dark Souls recommended as like being similar to Skyrim, and I was like, oh, like I kind of like Skyrim, I'll check that out. And then I played Dark Souls and was like, I'm never playing Skyrim again. This is way more fun, which I guess is a good transition into some Dark Souls stuff, which, funnily enough, after last podcast, Jeremy talked to me. He's like, you guys should probably go a podcast without talking about Dark Souls stuff. And then immediately I thought of a bunch of Dark Souls stuff I want to talk about. And then a new trailer came out. So
it's nice.
Before we get to the new Dark Souls stuff, there's some more DS2 questions I have for you, Caleb, because it's just stuff I thought of after the last one.
Yeah.
So how do
You guys are obsessed with DS2.
Well, it's just because it's the first one, and like a lot of people shit on it, and like I still think it's a pretty solid game, but like I want to acknowledge its faults too, and that's why I'm starting off with asking you how you feel about Life Gems, because I feel like Life Gems ruins a lot of what Dark Souls 1 did really, really well.
I hate Life Gems, but I will say that they just so I'm a member of like a lot of Dark Souls communities on Facebook,
Right.
and they just had a everyone come back to Dark Souls 2 for PvP and whatever. They just did that this past weekend, and the game was like flooded with people, which was pretty awesome. And basically everyone made a new character, and every single chance you got to invade or co-op, you were supposed to take it. And
Right.
it was pretty interesting because I never played Dark Souls 2 while it was a current game, I played it right before the release of Dark Souls 3 because I wanted to just have it done before I got to Dark Souls 3,
Right.
So
Yeah,
it was already kind of dead. There wasn't really a lot going on. I don't think I got invaded more than, I don't know, a couple couple dozen times maybe the entire
I
playthrough.
really like DS2's PvP.
Yeah, me too. I like it a lot too.
But with life gems, it's like in Dark Souls 1, there were so many areas specifically designed and scaled. Like, you have this many Estus, this is how we're going to design this area and get through it like this. Or you can choose to pay some humanity and Kindle and have a little bit of advantage. And in this one, it was just like, all right, we're going to do that, but then also you have infinite healing items if you so choose.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it did take away from the difficulty a little bit. But I mean, I think other things increased the difficulty too. I mean, there was give and take. Hitting your weapons on walls in Dark Souls 2, like, it was annoying, but it definitely increased the difficulty.
That was
'Cause,
a
like, when
PC bug, though.
Well, see, I played it on PC.
Yeah, but I feel like we should give them credit for, like, a bug.
Yeah, I guess.
Although I guess they
I mean-
decided not to patch it.
Like, right before going into the tightest little area you could ever imagine, which sounds very weird in hindsight.
Oh, baby.
Giggity.
The tightest little area.
I find this, like, giant halberd, and I'm falling in love with it. But I've only used it for like 5 minutes, and then I go into this next area, and it's rendered utterly useless because I keep slamming into the walls. I can't hit anything in my way.
And the second thing I want to talk about with DS2 is one of the side quests. And it might be short-lived because I don't know if you actually followed it through because it's one of the longer side quests in the game. But did you do Pate and Creighton?
No, I didn't.
It's a really, really solid side quest that I suggest you look into. It's because Pate is supposed to be the sort of reincarnated version of Patches, right?
Right.
And it's just a really fun side quest, and it makes you also appreciate Creighton being summoned in to fight you in DS3 more, because even though it's sort of you decide how that side quest ends, it sort of gives you more of an answer of how it was meant to end.
Right.
So it's
Well,
fun.
I feel like I didn't have a whole lot of screen time for Pate on my playthrough. I didn't actually get to see him a whole lot.
It's actually sort of a pretty tough side quest to follow. You have to go out of your way to find them sometimes. But
Right.
yeah, it's also one of the few Dark Souls 2 side quests that feel more like a Dark Souls 1 side quest where they're out in the world doing their own thing.
Right.
Whereas a lot of the side quests in DS2 are like, they're in Majula, go do some stuff for them. So that's
I actually have not played Dark Souls 2. I played 1, and like I own 1 and I own 3, and I just kind of skipped 2.
well, I mean, if you're not finishing 3, probably. I mean, I don't know. I think 2 honestly was a little bit tougher for me than 3 was.
I need to go back and sit down and continue Dark Souls 3. Like, my problem now is it's been so long since I picked it up that I'm gonna have to reteach myself the whole fucking game.
Yeah, same thing's gonna
I've
happen
done
when the new
that.
DLC comes out.
I've done that. Like, oh, I haven't played this in so long, I might as well just start over.
Yeah. I remember the first time I ever played the first Dark Souls, though, that I was like, this game is bullshit, and I never want to play it again, ever. Get it away from me. And then, like, you know, like a year later, I'm like, I kind of want to play Dark Souls again. So I picked it up and actually bought it. So I played it at a friend's house. I remember, like, I couldn't get past the first, like, pit demon. And I'm like, this game sucks. And then I watched my friend just, like, breeze through everything, no problem. I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay, so I know there's a way you can do things. Like, it's not, you know, like, I mean, it is equal parts, like, you have to be good, but there's also tricks that you need to learn. So once I actually sat down and really played it and figured out, I'm like, no, this game's actually really good. It's just punishing if you make the wrong move. Like, it's like, you gotta, it's like chess, but you gotta go really fast and think really quickly.
I don't know if
I
there's a
haven't
more satisfying feeling in any video game than like a perfect roll or something in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
nice.
so rewarding. Yeah, my Dark Souls 1 story was actually, I think, a lot more why I got into it. My buddy, Derek, who was with me through the entire playthrough, which is on the channel, he had been selling me on Dark Souls for years. I didn't pick it up until, you know, when around the time I started this channel, so it wasn't that long ago, to be honest.
Right.
But he had been talking about it for years, and I had no idea what he was talking about. So I was like only half listening to him whenever he talked to me about it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't know what you're talking about. But I mean, he was so passionate about it, and I actually had this time where he came over here. We were playing something for the channel, I believe, and we got really drunk, and he sat in this chair next to me and like held me hostage. He like would not let me go to bed. until he told me about his experience beating Dark Souls 1 as a level 1 character. And I mean, it just, like, it infuriated me that I had sat in the room for like 3 hours listening to this story. Like, the
Right.
time it would take to do a playthrough of the game. He's telling me. But, you know, after I woke up and I got past my hangover, I'm like, yeah, I think I need to give that a try. So he, like, wanted to re-experience Dark Souls, like, fresh. And he couldn't do that because he's beaten it so many times. But he did that through me. So he was sitting here while I played through the game, and he did not tell me what to do. He just laughed at me as I made mistakes. Every now and then he'd sound like he was giving me advice, and he was totally leading me astray. Like, are you sure you want to go that way? And like, I'm totally going the right way. And then I'd turn and go to the worst place I could ever go. But I don't know.
Caleb,
Yeah.
open that chest over there. What?
Yeah.
No,
No,
don't worry about
absolutely.
don't worry about anything being called something like a mimic or whatnot. That's bullshit.
I automatically attack every chest I see. Like, I'm just gonna hit it, and if it doesn't move, then I open it.
Well,
if
you see,
it does move, run away.
that's something I liked about Dark Souls 2 is that chests could be destroyed. So there was actually like a bit of worry when you'd walk up to a chest because it was like, I can't really hit this because I'm just gonna fucking break it. So
You know, there's a tell in Dark Souls 1 where the chain
there's a tell in all of them.
like, oh, is there?
Yeah. Something
Right, so the
slight.
little chain faces like a different direction. And yeah, I picked that up after like my first two. I was like, this
It's
isn't that bad.
in DS3 it's the chain also, but I think in DS2 it's that every now and then if you watch it long enough it has
It
to breathe.
breathes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Oh man,
yeah, I like Dark 2, but you know, should probably talk about Dark 3, the better one, admittedly. Although actually, one quick thing, might as well because you're talking about your first experience with Dark Souls. I actually got Jeremy into Dark Souls because I picked up Dark Souls 2, which was the first Souls game I played. And pretty much I played it for like one night, and Jeremy was supposed to be coming over to record the next day, and he got here. And that's pretty much like, yeah, so you're playing this and we're doing a video. And by the end of that video, even though he was fucking super salty, we stopped, and I started like grabbing it and whatnot. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, the video's probably done. And he's like, well, we could do a full Let's Play at this point.
right?
So, yeah, I understand the living it through another friend thing, I guess. But, on to Dark Souls 3, because new stuff for Dark Souls 3.
Ringed
Which,
City.
also Earthen Peak, which is, ironically, a Dark Souls 2 area. So,
Yeah.
let's see what that's about.
Oh, I know you freaking creamed when you saw that.
I creamed a little bit, even though Earthen Peak wouldn't be the area I chose, but...
Still.
I
Thank you.
expected
Thank you,
it to...
Miyazaki.
I expected it to maybe be Shrine, if they were going to do a callback, Shrine of Amana.
Right.
But,
Oh god, I hated Shrine of Amana so much.
everybody did, but it's also like the most pretty looking area in the game.
It's so beautiful. It really is.
It's okay, you didn't play pre-patch Shrine.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well.
Pre-patch Shrine.
When developers have to patch the game because it's way too difficult.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
Well, unfortunately, I never did pre-patch Dark Souls 1, which they also did that. They took a lot of things out that made it difficult. Like for Smo and Ornstein, you know, Smo slams down on the ground and has like the like arc of lightning that comes out
Yes.
in the.
Yes.
So
we know.
like, Jeremy doesn't know because he's never made it to phase 2.
Yes, he has. He knows. He knows.
Oh, okay, yeah. Alright, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So when that happened before it was patched, like if you didn't see the tail before he jumped and actually turned your camera around and sprinted, you would die. Whereas in the version that I've played, my very first playthrough, as soon as you see him in the air, if you just roll backwards twice, you're safe, and that's super easy. But before, like there was like no margin of error. If you didn't turn and sprint, you would not have gotten out of it. So there was a lot of things that made the game easier, and that was one of those things he was holding over my head the whole time. He's like, "Well, back in my day."
Well, in Shrine of Amana, like, you know how ridiculous the soul arrow shit is in Shrine of Amana. It used to be they had twice as much aggro range. It did twice as much damage, and I think it also had improved tracking. So people would just walk into the area and be like, "Oh, this is a pretty area. What's that noise? Dead." only to see 8 or 9 more soul arrows that would have just killed them.
Right.
Also, pretty
Had
sure they
avoided-
had more enemies as well.
Yeah, I think they took out enemies. So
It was ridiculous. It was so dumb.
shortly after that, when nobody was getting through Shrine of Amana, they were like, "Oh, maybe we ought to do something about that."
Right.
But Dark Souls 3.
Yes. Yes.
The new DLC looks super cool. The things about angels and demons. Also, things about the Dark Soul. Seems rather
The Dark
important.
Soul. That's how they're gonna wrap it up. They're gonna let us know what all that is, and
You're gonna.
I'm not happy about it. I don't want this to end.
I want to
Well,
pick up.
while I'm, go ahead.
I want to pick up the Dark Soul, and the item description is like, this Dark Soul was born of the blood, setting up Bloodborne 2! That's
Well,
why
I wouldn't doubt that there'd be another Bloodborne, just because
I hope.
he has said explicitly there would not be another Souls game. He didn't say, another Soulsborne or whatever. I'm not sure if there's a Japanese way of saying that, but
I want to get hit with a curveball, actually, and them announce Demon Souls 2.
oh god.
I'm
I
not.
hope
I'm not
not.
sure why they would. Like, I get like he wants to do other things, but he's like, there's not going to be any more Souls games, but there will be more Bloodborne, and it's like, the game's almost exactly the same. Like, it's just different packaging. Like, it plays very similarly. Like, I know the classes are a little different, but like, it's the same game with different
Well-
packaging. So you're still making the same game.
It is. I see what you're saying, but it does have a lot of very different elements, where in Dark Souls, the idea is more so like, back up, choose your timing, get it, back up, choose your timing, where Bloodborne's like, fucking go for it, attack, don't back
Right,
up and
it's like-
defend.
Bloodborne is like a horror game first, and then it's a Souls game,
Yeah.
I think.
Maybe
In
he's
my
just fucking
opinion.
tired of writing for the Soul series.
Yeah, he's like such high expectations now, especially
Yeah.
because of Vati Vidya, and he's like, I can't just throw in a little storyline.
They're
And
like, what do you
make
want
it
to be on this?
game."
What do you want to be on this painting that nobody's gonna see over here? And he's like, ah.
Is he really writing though? Because like in those 3 games, like it's typical Japanese like writing where it's all like obscure and a lot of it doesn't really make sense, and then there's all this like flavor text everywhere that's like, that's cool but who cares, and like he never really fully explains anything. I mean, I know there is actual story in there, but you have to really dig for it. It's like Final Fantasy, where they just throw in a bunch of bullshit and you're like, that's cool, and then there's a whole bunch of fan theories behind it and you're like, that doesn't mean anything.
Well, yeah, you can get through any Dark Souls with very minimal story experience, but if you dig and you like pick up on all the like very, very minuscule details, it's pretty impressive the like they go to in the Souls games.
Yeah, I think the vast majority of people would make it through the game without getting any story
Yeah.
elements. It's too easy not to, actually. But once you understand that that's how storytelling is in the games, then you start looking for it.
Like, you could get through and you'd be like, okay, I understand there's a curse, and I understand that if I do something with the fire, then something happens. And that's all I got from that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yay, Dark Souls.
Are we going to talk about ukulele, though?
Yeah, go ahead. Chat about ukulele,
Oh,
dude. It's all you.
All Yuka, your Laylee.
Oh, baby.
Do it.
What? Giggity.
Did we talk about this before, how ukulele is a single instrument, but banjo and kazooie are 2 separate instruments?
No, we didn't.
We did not chat about that.
What the hell? That bothers me. Does that bother you?
No,
what
it doesn't
were they gonna
bother
call
me.
him? Like Yuka
I don't-
Cajon or something? I don't know.
I could care less. It's freaking rare working on a game. David Wise, Grant Kirkhope. I'm gonna stop complaining. I don't give a shit.
Actually,
Get in the
well-
game.
I believe in
I finally played
Japan.
the toy box.
I believe in Japan he was called Hookah-Laylee because he was originally meant to be a stoner. I think so.
Oh, right. There's no drugs in hookah.
Oh, hey, yo. Speaking of like weird tiny details, last night I was playing Overwatch and I was like, I don't play Reaper, and I'm looking at his guns while like we're waiting for the match to start, and on the side it's kind of like scratched off almost, or it's like worn off. It says RP and T on each of his guns, so like both of his guns are like repent. I just thought that was a cool little detail.
Yeah,
it's
like
actually a
stuff-
pretty cool little detail.
Yeah, he's like
I
the vengeance guy or whatever. He's like, I'm the Reaper of Souls, die, die, die. But both of his guns say repent.
You know who had cool guns?
Who had cool guns?
Alucard from Hellsing.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Alucard had cool everything from Hellsing.
Did you guys see that they finally made another Hellsing Abridged episode like a couple weeks ago?
I actually just recently binge watched every episode.
So good. Nazis, I fucking told you.
The line where he's talking to the dude who breaks into the building there or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, you're just trying to get up against your alcoholic daddy," and he points the gun at his face and he just goes, "Go make daddy a drink." That line gets me every time. Or after the attack on London when he's standing on the ship and he just goes, "Something's burning."
I just bought that TV!
Yeah. And that was a 70-inch plasma screen TV. What can I do for you today?
I love what Team 4-Star's been doing lately too, especially with the Cell game stuff. Like they just did like
so much
Sonic
fun.
and
It's so
Knuckles
much
versus
fun.
Cell.
You mean
Oh,
these Chaos
so good.
Emeralds?
Oh, what? How did you? I'm out of here. Oh man, I wish I could do more than glide. Me.
When Ryu's going evil Ryu and Cell just goes, "Have you tried praying it away?"
Oh yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh one was pretty funny too.
See, I could talk with you about bridges all day long. I'm the abridged guy.
Yeah, I've been watching their series since like episode 5 of GBZ Abridged. Like when
Yeah,
they were still doing the
I
Saiyan
don't
Saga.
remember the exact episode, but it was season 1 that I found them.
Yeah, good times. I've also been watching Dragon Ball Super, so it's like on top of it. Everything's Dragon Ball Z right now for me.
I've been waiting for the dub of Super just because I grew up with the dub, so I couldn't go sub.
It's one of the few dubs I will actually watch is Dragon Ball Z.
I don't care how
because,
bad
like,
it is. It's just hearing their voices again.
It's just it's not. I mean, it's all right. It's decent. It's better than a lot of dubbed anime. I think their voices fit them better in English. Although like Vegeta's pretty much the same on both sides of it.
Yeah,
But definitely like Sean Schimmel as Goku. Krillin's all right either way. Sonny Strait is a really great voice actor in general though. So like
Chris
he-
Sabat knocks it out of the park with Piccolo and Vegeta though.
Yeah, I love Chris Sabat. He's awesome. He's actually one of the few DBZ voice actors I haven't met yet.
You've met
I
Sean
had a
Schimmel?
chance. Yeah.
Oh, that's super
he's really
cool.
funny. He's also terrified of hentai, and it's hilarious.
That is pretty
But-
funny.
I
You
met
know,
him at a
considering.
con a few years ago. I've met Sonny Strait a few times. Chris Sabat was at a convention I was at last year that I was actually working guests services with, but he wasn't one of my guests, so I didn't get a chance to work with him. And I didn't even get to go to his panels because I was so busy. But yeah, and I've met who else have I met on that set?
Yeah, Sonny impresses me because I could never ever do that voice. That's a
Krillin?
tough one. Krillin's tough.
Yeah. Who does Trunks? Was that?
I can't remember the name. I'm picturing the face though.
I think. God damn it! I can't think of his name.
I know who you're talking about though.
But except for not Chris Sabat, and I want to meet him at some point because Vegeta's like not only my favorite DBZ character, but one of my favorite characters like of all time. So
I don't know
at
if
some
any
point
of
we
that picked up in the podcast because you cut out for me for a while of
Did I?
that. Yeah, for a while of that.
Oh well,
I heard it.
that sucks.
That does.
Oh well.
I heard all of that.
I guess they'll never know. They'll have to go check out
Basically,
your podcast to fill in the blanks.
Sure. I just said that Vegeta's one of my favorite characters of all time, basically, and I want to meet Chris Sabat, so that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. Vegeta's a pretty strong character. Chris Sabat's a really, really phenomenal voice actor.
Kakarot, you fool!
Did you ever see the video of Takahata 101 doing his Nappa talking to Chris Sabat doing his Vegeta?
I might have.
It's really solid.
I think Takahata 101 was at Con Bravo last year too, actually, though. I think he might have been there at the same time as Chris Sabat, so I don't know how old that video it is. It might have been done at Con Bravo.
I felt like it was.
Have you ever
little, but
watched
maybe not.
something? You didn't know why you were watching it, and then you watched all of it anyway, and you still didn't know why you watched it.
Yeah, I
It
know the
was kind of
feeling.
I recommended a YouTube video, and it was a live game of Yu-Gi-Oh, but it was voice acted by the actual actors.
I know what you're talking about. I've
And it
seen
was
this.
like
I've seen this.
It was like 2 hours long, and I mean, I don't know why I watched it. I have no
Was it
idea
funny?
why I watched it.
Well,
It was like watching. I don't know. It wasn't really that good.
it was
But
funny
it was-
because it was funny because at the end everybody started yelling at Yugi that he cheated. That part got me.
It's like Yugi versus Kaiba, and the one that I watched. Is it the same one you saw?
Oh, I think so. It might have been Yugi versus Yusei
Oh, okay.
that I saw.
Well, the one I watched was the Kaiba, and it was just so ridiculous. It was like over the top, you know, how their voices are. But then it's like two dudes in suits are actually the ones laying down the cards. And I'm like, what's going on here? The whole thing was scripted. The deck laid out to draw the way they wanted to draw. So it was not. I wish it would have been improv. I think it would have been better improv. But you know, they're voice actors. They're not comedians.
I want an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh with a duel that's like real life duels where like they're all starting out dramatic and they're like, let's do this, and then they draw their cards and one of them's just like, ah shit, I just drew 6 spells. Mind if I redraw? No, you can't do that. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've been going for a little over an hour now, so we could probably call it here unless you guys have more things you want to talk about.
Well, I did just want to say that ukulele feels the way it's supposed to.
Oh,
If
did you get your
anybody
hands
was
on it?
wondering.
Did you get your
Yeah,
hands
so
on it?
I played the toy box, and
Oh, right, you said that.
yeah, so it feels really good. The toy box it left a lot to be desired as far as, you know, exploring a world that was fully developed, because it's like flat textures and just
Right.
neon colors. But the controls, like if right now you pick Banjo-Kazooie, the controls would kind of disappoint you. But if you just remember it as it was as a child, you're like, man, that game played so good.
Yeah.
So fluid.
I like that
That is-
defense.
Okay, so ukulele feels the way you remember banjo feeling. It's a lot better in reality, but it has the same feeling. It just like every button you hit does exactly what it's supposed to do. It just feels perfect, and I'm so excited. I cannot hide it.
Yeah, I actually recently watched a bunch of the trailers because I've kind of been away from like all the news about ukulele because so much other shit has been going on. But like I just binge watch a bunch of it, and like the music is so freaking good. The areas look amazing. But the one thing that I'm kind of like upset about, which is like completely fair, is there's no co-op multiplayer, it seems, because they were like, there's going to be multiplayer. And the first thing I was thinking of was like, oh shit, somebody gets to play as Yuka and the other person gets to play as
Yep.
Laylee. But in fact, it's just like the minigame thing that they had in Banjo-Tooie, where you can just play
Yep.
minigames with your friends. And I was like, oh man, like,
So
that
it was
freaking
actually-
sucks, but oh
It was
well.
a stretch goal. Multiplayer was a stretch goal, and it said that there was going to be co-op.
Yeah, I remember it saying that.
And
Yeah, I thought so too. Okay, maybe they just like are working on it, but they don't
Right.
want to tell people, I guess, or show
I
off
feel like
anything.
that was just separate. But that actually does look cool. I mean, it would.
It
that
does
would be
look really
total-
fun.
It'd be a letdown if that is what we get in place of co-op, because I really think
Yeah.
this would be a game that me and my wife could finally, you know, share share this experience together. But the arcade looks good. I mean, it looks like, you know, the kind of game you would get out of a Mario Party or something like that.
Yeah,
So I think it looks cool.
I'm sure it'll be a fun
Yeah.
game. I'm glad to hear that the controls feel really good, because
Oh,
it's
they
been
do.
so long since we've had like a really, really solid 3D platformer, particularly
Right. And
from
I've played a couple of the new, like, the competitors, basically. So I've played Poi. I've played, I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's just on PC, and it is released now. So there's a game called Poi that was supposed to be one of the, you know, revivals of the 3D platformer, and it's a cool game. And also, I got a press release version of a Hat in Time beta, and like I was supposed to make videos out of it, but the game just didn't feel good enough for me to actually put any of it on my YouTube channel.
right.
And it looks good, and actually, Grant Kirkhope made part of the soundtrack, but then he had to back out of it. So the demo version that I've got all looks great, but the controls just don't feel right. And Yooka-Laylee does not let you down in that regard, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited too, but I mentioned to you, I don't even know when I'm going to get the chance to play it. I'm going to be fucking binging Zelda for so long. Probably not till April will I check that out. Same with the Dark Souls 3 DLC.
Right.
Well, yeah, it doesn't come out till April anyways.
I thought it came out late March.
Late March. I think
Yeah.
March 7th is the date.
Okay, I thought it came out like April 3rd or something like that.
Yeah,
But I'm
I'll
not sure. You'd probably know more than me at this point.
I might pick it up around my birthday, maybe.
Yeah.
So anyways, as we come to the end of this podcast, Pixel Litch, you should plug your stuff.
I'm way ahead of you. Oh, you mean my channel?
Oh, baby. Great, great. Now we've got to end the podcast turned on.
All right, this guy's going to the next podcast.
Well, okay, so my channel, youtube.com/Pixel Litch. We do a show about the Lord of the Rings. We play video games. We do vlogs and random stuff. My most recent video, my friend and I try ghost pepper chocolate, and that was kind of fun.
Ooh.
I like to try weird food from time to time if I can
When's the
find
Carolina
something
Reaper
interesting.
when's the
I
Carolina
want
Reaper?
that. I wish they'd make some chocolate out of that. The ghost pepper chocolate is actually really good. Like,
yeah, I know. I was watching it, and you guys didn't look like you were suffering enough, so I want
No,
Carolina
not at
Reaper
all.
next.
Yeah.
Guys
I
loved
think the chocolate kind of like cancels a lot of the heat. So like, but it's still hot, but like it and I sweat a little bit, but it tasted really good. So if there is like salted caramels made with North Carolina Reaper, friggin' send them to me. I'll try them. But yeah, but like I said, my channel right now is kind of on the slow end of things. I got to figure out what I want to do. I've been trying to get a new series produced. But I've been having trouble getting the intro done for it. A friend of mine's been trying to help me out with it, but he's really busy and I've been really busy. So yeah, and I used to do a podcast for a while, but I'm not doing that one anymore either. But you can look it up. It's called Lichcast. I think you could probably only get the most recent episodes because I don't pay for the hosting anymore at the moment. But I might put those up all online. So yeah, but yeah, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz. And as a side note, it was Todd Habercorn and Vic Mignogna. That's who I was trying to remember.
Rickman,
There you go.
Yeah, he played Broly, and then Todd, Android 19 and Dragon Ball Z Kai. So,
Broly Power Maximum.
and I've met Antfish from Abridged.
That's cool.
He worked on the Abridged series. So Takahata was at the con I was at last year too, but I didn't get to meet him unfortunately. So
Yeah, Tagahata would be fun to meet.
yeah,
Pixel
they're
Litch has a lot of videos, guys. So if nothing new is coming out at the moment, there's a huge backlog that you have not seen.
Also,
there's plenty-
you should head on over to Happily Ever After Gaming's channel and check out the collab that he did, because I checked it out, and it's hilarious.
oh
Yeah.
playing TF2.
Yeah,
It was real funny.
It's
Yeah, we
pretty
play some
far
more
back
games.
there, but if you look up Team Fortress 2 or you search for the actual title of the video is I Thought This Was America, it's really good. I have to admit. I'm not trying to toot my own horn.
At the
but-
band part, I was fucking pissing myself laughing. Where our first gig, Madison Square Garden. Hopefully we can keep up this momentum.
That's so funny.
Oh fuck, I lost it. Anyways, these guys are both really funny, and I thank them for both being on here.
Thank
Yeah. So, any closing remarks?
Dark Souls 3. I'm gonna finish that. Maybe, probably not.
Proud of you.
Thanks, Dad. It's going on the fridge.
Kids just don't hear that anymore.